Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. Wow. 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 Hey, everyone. Well, first of all, welcome, everyone. And I want to thank you for coming. I am so excited to share our 2025 summer release. Now, today I'm going to show you where Airbnb is going. But before I do, I want to take you back to the year 2007. It was an exciting time in the world. The iPhone was introduced. You remember this? Facebook expanded from students to everyone. Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered on television. And a movement was spreading all over the world, the duck face. And I was living here in Los Angeles, the duck face capital of the world. And then in October, I moved to this apartment in San Francisco. But when I got here, my roommate and I had a problem. We couldn't pay our rent. Well, luckily, a design conference was coming to San Francisco that weekend, and all the hotels were sold out. We had an idea. Well, what if we turned our house into a bed and breakfast for the conference? Unfortunately, we didn't even have any beds, so we got some air beds, we inflated them, and we called it Airbed and Breakfast. And that's where the name comes from. Now, thank you. See you tonight. Just kidding. Now, people thought this idea was totally crazy. They said strangers are never going to stay with other strangers. But 3 guests end up staying with us that weekend: Michael, Catherine, and Amol. And here's the crazy thing. It turns out that we actually have video from that first weekend. And I wanted to show it to you right now.
Hi, my name is Amol.
Oh yeah, what do you do, Amol?
The conference just got over yesterday, and we are going for a short tour of San Francisco today.
Oh, that's cool, man.
I wasn't very familiar with the whole local food scene, and they took me to a taco place. It was almost like a hole in the wall at that point, and so I was wondering, like, where have they brought me? However, when I look back now, that was a really very authentic and local experience.
How are you? That was cool.
We went to the ferry building. I had never heard of a farmer's market before that. And so it was my first introduction to locally grown organic food. Like, the real San Francisco is not about just going to Lombard Street. It is about, this creative vibe where people are trying to change the world. I was able to experience the other side of San Francisco. Once you see that so up close, that changes your life. It changes your perspective. And that was really transformative experience for me.
Pretty cool. It's pretty crazy we have video, because that was the only video I took that year. So it kind of worked out. Now, something really special happened that weekend. Our guests came as strangers, but they left as friends. And as we're waving them goodbye, we thought, maybe there's a bigger idea here. What if we designed a way for you could book a home as easily as you could book a hotel? We built a website, and no one used it. But eventually, Airbnb took off. It became one of the most successful companies of the decade. Thank you. And then the pandemic hit, and we lost 80% of our business in 8 weeks. Suddenly, we went from planning our IPO to people asking, is this the end of Airbnb? And as we're staring into the abyss, we had this moment of clarity that we just have to focus on one thing, which is to make sure our service is perfect for our guests and our hosts. And over the last 4 years, we've shipped hundreds of features and upgrades that make it easier to find a home and to be a great host. And 2 billion guests later, we've changed the way people travel. Airbnb is now a noun and a verb used all over the world. And people think of it as a place to stay. But what if you could Airbnb more than a place to stay? Well, starting today, you can. Because we are introducing 3 things. Airbnb services, incredible services to make your stay more special. Completely reimagined Airbnb experiences, hosted by the locals who know their city best. And an all-new app with homes, services, and experiences all in one place. Now, you can Airbnb more than an Airbnb. Thank you. You know, 17 years ago, we changed the way people travel, and today, we are changing travel again. And I gotta tell you, I am so excited now to show you what we've been working on, and I wanna start with Airbnb services. So let's start. You know, people often choose Airbnbs for the space, like this home in Austin, Texas. This is a real home on Airbnb. In this home, you get a full kitchen, you get a living room with a fireplace, a spacious backyard, or for the same price, you can stay here at the Marriott in downtown Austin, where you get a bed, a desk, and yes, a landline telephone. They still have those. But hotels do have one thing that we don't have, and those are services. You see, you can get meals delivered to your room, like who doesn't want a quesadilla in bed? You can get access to a tiny gym, a massage, spa services like a CBD revitalizing pedicure for $125. Now, what if you can get all of these services and more right at your Airbnb? Introducing Airbnb services, incredible services to make your stay more special. Now, we're launching with 10 services, starting with chefs. Yeah. So now you can book a professional chef to come right to your home. Prepared meals. So if you want something really easy without having to cook, this is perfect. Full service catering. Now this is perfect for a special event or if you're traveling with a group. Photography, to capture memories from your trip or family photos. You ever like go on vacation and you want to take a photo and you're like, well, who's not going to be in the photo? This solves that. Personal training for any kind of workout, right at your Airbnb. You can work off whatever you ate on vacation. You can get massages. You can get spa treatments like facials and body scrubs, love them. Hairstyling, makeup for any occasion, and nails like manicures and, yes, pedicures. So I want to show you what this looks like. This is an Airbnb. Now, you're probably used to thinking an Airbnb is a home. Well, this is a chef on Airbnb. Now, this is Coulter. He's a chef in Austin, and his menu starts at just $50 a guest. Now, he's got a range of offerings that he'll make right at your home. So let's zoom in here. Now, you can go casual with a taco sampler for $50, or you can go all the way to a 3-course meal. Now, here's a key point. Every one of these meals is totally customizable. So in the app, you can add sides, you can add dessert, and you can do all this really, really easy and seamlessly. Now, Coulter's got 15 years of experience, and he's worked at famed restaurants like Proud Mary in Portland. The best part, Coulter comes to you, because he provides everything you need right at your home. And you can expect an incredible meal, because Airbnb services are vetted for quality. So like for chefs, what we do is we look at their expertise, we look at their reputation, their menu, their licenses, their certifications, And we do this for all 10 categories of services. And reason we do this is we want to make sure that every time you get a service on Airbnb, it's excellent. And I want to just show you a few of the types of services hosts that we have. This is Brooke Frankham. She's a hairstylist based in London. Now, Brooke has 15 years of experience. And she's known for her famous Brooke blowout that's got 8 million views on TikTok. Now, Brooke comes to your place for 2 hours, and she'll tailor her style for you, so you can get ready for a night out. This is really, really perfect. This is Eric. He's an LA-based makeup artist with 12 years of experience. And he's worked with Cardi B, and he's worked with Dolce & Gabbana. And you'll get a 1-hour makeup session with Eric right in your home, and he brings all the products and tools to you to give you the exact look that you want. Steve has 30 years experience as a personal trainer. This is actually a fun fact. He was a personal trainer at the White House. And he owns a private fitness club here in LA, and you can book a training session with him starting at $75. Now, the great thing is he brings all the gear and everything you need right to you, and you can do either a one-on-one training session or a group session. Really simple. Now, here's one of the things that's so great about these services. They're really easy to book. In fact, this is how easy it is to book a chef on Airbnb. All you got to do is pick a date, pick a time, and in a few taps, I have a private chef coming to my home. Services are literally that easy to book on Airbnb. And we are launching services today in 260 cities worldwide. 260 cities. So now you can get all these services all around the world in one app. And here's the best part. This is the key. Ready? You don't need to stay in an Airbnb to book these services. This is a very key point. You can book these services in your own city. So here in Los Angeles, if you want to get makeup done for an event, if you want to hire a caterer, if you want to get a massage, you can just go to our app and you can book it. You don't need to be on a trip. You don't need to be staying in a home. And so what I want to do is I want to actually show you what this looks like in the app. So I'm going to pull up a phone now. This is the biggest iPhone in the world. And I'm going to be controlling this. So this is a real live demo. I have the device right here. And actually, let's take a look at this. So look at the top. We have homes, and then we added 2 new tabs, experiences and services. So I'm going to tap into services. I love that you see the bell like ringing. And look at, I'm going to go back to homes for a second. Watch that. The door opens, the light comes on. So there's all these like little touches in the app. I hope you find it's really, really delightful. Thank you, thank you. We worked really hard on that. You would not believe how hard we worked. So now the app knows that I'm in Los Angeles. And so you can see this carousel at the top. And it shows all 10 categories of services. So we have photography, obviously chefs, prepared meal, training. So here's all my categories. And I'm just going to tap into one of these. I just want to show you. I'm going to show you this first one. This is cool. So you remember I told you we have personal trainers? Well, this is a really cool type of personal trainer because Peter is actually a powerlifting coach. It's a very specific type of personal training. So for $80, I can get this workout. And the thing about Peter is he has 22 years of experience as an elite powerlifter. And he actually holds the California bench press record for his weight class. And so you can get services like this. And again, you can get it when you're traveling, or you can get it in your own city. So I want to show you, though, like that's if I wanted a service here in LA. But let's say I want to travel. Remember in the beginning I showed you that Austin Airbnb? OK, so I want you to imagine I booked that Airbnb in Austin. And I got this big home. I got a big kitchen. I'm not a really good cook. So I want to have somebody come and make food. So I'm going to type in Austin. And now here are actual chefs in Austin on Airbnb. And you can see we've got some really cool chefs. And you're going to notice the prices are really accessible. And we have all different types of cuisine. all authentic Austin. So why don't we tap into one of these? Maybe this first one here. This one looks pretty good. Egyptian Texan Barbecue by Kareem. So he's an award-winning pitmaster, and he fuses Texan-style barbecue with Middle Eastern flavors. So I have a few offerings here. I can get a really basic ultimate barbecue platter for 50 bucks. I can go with a whole brunch for 100 bucks. Or I can get a full supper club right to my home. Now, he's got some incredible qualifications. Kareem's got 10 years experience. He actually competed on Netflix's Barbecue Showdown, if anyone's seen that. He's won a Michelin Big Gourmand Award, which is an incredibly important award. And the only thing more impressive than his qualifications is that mustache. All right, so let's go somewhere else. Let's go to Paris. Paris is one of the most popular cities in the world in Airbnb. And when people go to Paris, they want to get their photos taken. So how do you do it today? You either take photos with your iPhone and you're not in the photo, or you hand it to someone else, another tourist. Well, what if you could get a professional photographer to take your photos? Well, now you can. Because this is street-style photography by Pablo. So starting at $100 a group, you can get these incredible photos. He not only takes photos, but he processes them, he organizes them, so they're really ready to share. And Pablo is a documentary-style photographer. And he's worked for Vogue and brands like Nike. So these are like some of the best photographers in the world. Now, if you want to do something a little more traditional, you can go with Claire here. And she does romantic photo shoots, and she specializes in couples and families. So there's a world of services on Airbnb, and this is live right now in the app. And so that is services in our app on Airbnb. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so excited, but these 10 categories of services, they are quite literally just the beginning, because we're going to be adding new categories in new cities soon, so stay tuned. And we're going to be adding thousands more services over the course of this year. So starting today, we're inviting people to apply to become hosts on Airbnb. And so that is Airbnb services. Thank you, guys. All right, you ready for the next one? Experiences, yeah, I like the energy. All right, so now we first launched experiences a number of years ago. And since then, we've learned a lot about how to make them better. So we went back to the drawing board, and we've completely reimagined services from the ground up. So let me show you. So one of the top reasons that guests stay in Airbnb is they want to have an authentic travel experience. So let's say you book this Airbnb in Paris, and you want to find some cool things to do. Well, how do you find cool things to do in Paris? Well, if you're like many people, you go to Google, and you type in best things to do in Paris. And this is what you get: a long list of websites offering the same tourist activities. Now, I wanted to show you what these activities are actually like. So we went to Paris, and that's where we met Leo. And he spent the day doing these activities. And we said, Leo, can we follow you around and see what it's actually like to go on these tourist activities? So what I'm about to show you is literally what millions of people do every year. You ready? You've probably seen these double-decker buses. They're literally in every freaking city. So he goes on this double-decker bus for an hour and a half. But there was no tour guide. So he literally rides around, like looking at the landmarks from a distance. He doesn't even know what he's looking at. And he said this was the worst part of his day. But it didn't get a lot better, because after that, he went to a well-known spot to see the Eiffel Tower. But it was packed with tourists, for some reason all wearing the same matching red berets. I have no idea why, and they're all trying to get the same photo. He wanted to do something cool. Unfortunately, he chose a Segway tour. And he goes on this Segway tour, and the tour guide didn't even speak French. All they did was teach him how to ride a Segway. You imagine that? Now, by the end of the day, Leo was, this is a real photo, by the way. He was just doing this. We didn't tell him to post. He was totally exhausted. You see, he checked a lot of boxes, but he felt none of the magic of Paris. And we think there's a better way to experience a city. And that is with the locals who know their city best.
One word for Paris. One word's difficult, man.
Chocolate, butter. We don't care about calories. We don't care.
Smells. You have some roses mixed with a little bit of exhaust pipe.
Self-confidence, happiness, sex appeal.
Paris is a place where anything can happen.
It's about feeling rather than thinking.
Obviously, you can fall into that tourist trap, but
I would not have guessed this was back here.
I show them my Paris.
welcome to heaven, guys! Get a glimpse of chefs and restaurant owners.
That's going to be the objective today, to turn you into perfumers.
This place is just like an absolute labyrinth. How much is this?
All these things together.
Don't panic. It's very easy.
And that's the magic of connecting with people.
I've never had that before.
Really?
No.
Oh, so it's perfect. You're going to try it today.
Oh, really?
I'm faster than you. Follow me.
I like to say that one life is not enough to know everything in Paris. But if you trust me and you're curious, you'll have a great time.
So that's how you experience Paris and Airbnb. And what if you could experience every city like this? Introducing completely reimagined Airbnb experiences. You can explore a city with the locals who know it best. And we're launching experiences across 5 categories, starting with history and culture. So you can do landmark tours, museum tours with local curators. Food and drink. So you can make pasta with top chefs or taste your way through a food market. We also have some great tasting and dining experiences. Nature and outdoors. You can hike hidden trails or go surfing with a pro. Art and design. We've got gallery tours, art workshops, architectural tours. We can even shop local markets with designers. Fitness and wellness. We have workouts. And we even have beauty experiences where you can design your own fragrance. So I want to show you what experiences look like. This is an experience in Rome. This is actually a really cool one. You're going to step into one of the top art restoration studios in all of Italy. It's got this very beautiful 2x2 grid where you can see the experiences. And now let's zoom in here. This is hosted by Valeria and Daniela. Now, Valeria and Daniela are incredible hosts because they've restored masterpieces, including 3 Caravaggios and the frescoes inside the Pope's residence. And now, they're opening their doors to you because you're going to be able to tour their space, help them restore art, and learn how to mix your own paint. Airbnb experiences are designed to be social because it's not just about what you do, it's about who you do it with. So later this year, you're going to be able to see who's going, message other guests, and stay in touch when it's over. So for example, you can see here there's 3 guests coming from California, there's 3 guests from London. This is a really cool way to go on a social experience and meet people from all over the world. You can learn more about your host, and just like services, every Airbnb experience is vetted for quality. Now, we assess hosts based on their expertise and their connection to the city. So I want to show you some of the things that you can do with Airbnb experiences. You ready? Explore Paris in a vintage sidecar. Way better than the double-decker bus. Visit Incan temples with a mystic in Peru. If you want to get some drinks, you can taste mezcal with a certified sommelier in Mexico City. But it gets better, because we are also introducing a new experience, a new tier called Airbnb Originals. And Airbnb Originals are extraordinary experiences hosted by the world's most interesting people. And they are exclusively designed for Airbnb. You can craft noodles and broth with a ramen master in Tokyo. You can learn to dance K-pop with a K-pop star in Seoul. This one's really cool. Millions of people go to Notre Dame every year. Well, what if you could go to Notre Dame and see it with one of the architects who helped restore it? That's what you can do here. Now, if you want to work out, you can actually train and play volleyball with an Olympian in Rio. If you want to get even more physical, you can get in the ring with a real-life luchador in Mexico City. Just don't make him angry. You can learn to ink with LA tattoo legend Dr. Wu. Because there's nothing quite like making an irreversible decision on vacation. You can dance with principal ballerina Francesca Hayward in London. Or you can learn to airbrush at the home of West Coast Customs in LA. We even have an experience hosted by Dochi in her hometown of Tampa. And Dochi is here with us today. Thank you, Dochi. This is really cool. This is also real. You could spend a Sunday with Patrick Mahomes. And what do you do with him? You learn to throw the perfect spiral, and you can eat his favorite Kansas City barbecue. Really cool, once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Or you can transform into your alter ego with Megan Thee Stallion, and Megan is also here today. Here for Megan Thee Stallion. These are quite literally some of the best experiences in the world, and they're only on Airbnb. And we are launching experiences today in 650 cities around the world. And again, just like with services, you can book these in your own city. So when you're traveling 650 cities, you can use them. But here in Los Angeles, you can book these cool experiences. So if you need an idea for a date night, or if you want to take friends and your family out on a Saturday or Sunday, this is a great opportunity. And I wanted to show you what these look like in the app. All right, can I do that? Let's do it. All right, so here we are. And now you can see we're on the Experiences tab. So again, remember, we were on Homes. I can just tap onto Experiences. And look at the top. You're going to notice we have a carousel of originals featured all around the world. And I'm going to tap into this first one. This is, of course, Megan Thee Stallion. Now, this experience is crazy. Megan designed it herself. And you'll do all the things that Megan loves. She's built this real-life anime world. It's complete with lava and dragons. That's right. Now, Megan, your favorite food is ramen, spicy ramen, so you're going to be able to have ramen with her. You can play video games. And if you're lucky, you'll get a booty charm for dancing. That's real. She said it. And that's real. We got Patrick Mahomes, the K-pop band 17. There's only 13 members. Dochi here. Sabrina Carpenter, coming soon. Carol G. Yeah. I'm Medellin, Colombia. Or here in Los Angeles, We have the creator of West Coast Customs. And I want you to notice on the bottom here, there's a countdown. So a lot of these really special experiences, we allow you to get notified when they're available, and we have this countdown, kind of like a drop, so you can be the first to book them. And these are really, really cool. You can see we also have an itinerary where you can see hour by hour what you're going to be doing. All right, so let's travel. And I want to go back to Paris. I showed you the magic of Airbnb in Paris. So let's go to Paris. And this is a really cool experience. Make pastries with the French Bastards. Has anyone ever heard of the French Bastards? This is hosted by Raphaelle. She is the head of pastry and development at the French Bastard. Now, French Bastards is the name of one of the most innovative bakeries in all of Paris. It's known for its rebellious modern twist on traditional French pastries. And I mean, just look at these photos. It is really cool. So I want to show the itinerary. What do you do in the itinerary? You can learn the fundamentals. You can dive into the recipe. And you can create your own iconic pastry. I can go here and I can see who's going. So I can see there's 4 guests from Sweden. There's 2 guests from New York. So obviously there's a spot available. Here there's a guest from Michigan. All right, so let's do one more. Remember I showed you that Notre Dame experience? Well, here it is. This is really cool. So this host, Axel, is actually the woman who helped recreate the timber framework that burned down in Notre Dame, and she even worked on the intricate roofing. And here's what you'll do. You'll get the backstory and how Notre Dame was restored. You're going to learn her process. You're going to see all the sketches that she drew that informed the restoration. And this is quite literally the best way to see Notre Dame. And it's only on Airbnb. So that's Paris. Where else should we go? Should we go to Tokyo? Good, we'll go to Tokyo. And here we have this amazing ramen experience. Now, this is hosted by Saburo. Now, Saburo is a Michelin award-winning chef. He's regarded as one of the masters of modern ramen in Japan. Now, this is a 3-hour experience. That's how long it takes to make ramen. And you're going to craft especially ramen from scratch. So you create the broth, you make the noodles, and you share a meal together. Now, if you go to Tokyo, you got to have the sushi. And what better way to do that than this experience? This experience lets you taste the best fish in the world. It's hosted by Toshi, who owns a restaurant at the fish market. And Toshi is an institution. He knows every stall and every vendor. So what you get to do is you get to go to the tuna auction, you pick out fresh fish, and you get to enjoy a meal. Again, I can see who's going. We got some guests from Brazil, some guests from France. All right, so we're going to do one more city. Experiences are amazing in Rome. So I'm going to take us to Rome for a second. So here's Rome, and this is a really cool cocktail experience at Jerry Thomas, which is a secret bar in Italy. Now, it's hosted by Roberto, and Roberto is a mixologist. And this bar has made the list of the 50 best bars in the world 6 times. It's really, really cool. And you can get a sense of some of the things you can do on this experience. Maybe I'll show you one more. We'll go to this one. So this is cool. I mean, you can't go to Rome and not have pasta, right? And so with this experience, you make pasta at one of the best trattorias in all of Rome. You start from scratch with ingredients grown and picked at their family farm, and you're going to make your own dough, sauce, and dessert, and then you can share a meal, family style, with the other guest. So these are some of the experiences on Airbnb. All of this is available today, literally right now. And so that is experiences in the new app. Really, really cool. Now, we made a really cool ad that I think really captures the magic of experiences. I'm going to play it. You ready? Let's play it.
Travel. It used to be this grand adventure. You didn't know who you'd meet or what you'd discover. And over time, it became less of an adventure and more of a checklist. But the world is still full of wonder. You just need a better way to find it. Introducing Airbnb Experiences. Master ramen with an award-winning chef. Ride to hidden temples with an anthropologist. Dive into underground jazz with a renowned bassist. Or see Notre Dame with her. She helped restore it, by the way. Don't just see a place. Experience it.
One of the things I'm really excited about is, when we started Airbnb, people said, well, you've already monetized people's biggest asset in their life, which is their home. And I always thought, we haven't monetized people's biggest asset yet, because the biggest asset is their time. And I think there's a lot of nervousness in the world right now with AI and what jobs won't exist in the future. But it's also possible that technology will create a lot more economic opportunity. And if you are an expert in your city, and you have something to share, we'd love to have you apply, because you can get paid to do what you love. So that's Airbnb Experiences. So finally, the all-new Airbnb app. I am really excited. This is a really, really magical product. And for 17 years, the Airbnb app has been basically designed to do one thing, which is book a home. So we had to completely reimagine the app. So you could very easily book a home, a service, and an experience all in one place. And I want to show you how easy it is to get services and experiences when you're on a trip. So I'm going to do one more demo for you. All right, so let's go back to the phone, and I'm going to do one more demo. So we're going to pull up the phone. And has anyone one of my favorite cities in the world is Mexico City. If people travel there, it is an incredible city. So I want to imagine that we're going to go to Mexico City. And let's pretend like we're going to go to Mexico City 3 weeks from now. So we're going to go to Mexico City June 5th to June 11th. And, well, the first thing you're going to notice is the homes in Mexico City are incredibly vibrant. These are real homes on Airbnb in Mexico City. You can see how colorful and beautiful the design is. Got some of the best design in the world. And let's tap into this first home here. So this home is in a great neighborhood. It's in Condesa. It's an Art Deco gem. And I want to just scroll through some of the photos. You got this great dining room here, a backyard, and a kitchen. Perfect for cooking if you want to get a chef. Now, it's hosted by Sophie. Sophie's got 8 years experience hosting. And as you can see here, you see it's a guest favorite. So this means it's one of the most loved homes on Airbnb, according to the guests who stay there. Now, let's book this home. Again, booking a home is pretty easy. I just literally, that's actually it. I just booked the home. OK. Don't book it by accident. And now, you're going to notice the app knows I booked a home in Mexico City. And it places the home in this brand new itinerary. This is a beautiful new itinerary, and it shows all the details I need in one place. I just want you to notice, for example, see that little icon? It says check-in at 3 p.m. and the doors open, the lights on, and then check out, the doors close, the lights off. We tried to make the app really intuitive with a lot of little details, just to make it kind of easy and delightful. Now watch this. I'm going to tap on the Explore tab in the lower left. And when I tap the Explore tab, notice there's a calendar. And the date flips to 23 days before. So now I'm on the Experiences tab. And it shows all experiences in Mexico City, because there's no I'm traveling to Mexico City. I can go to Services. Again, the page is organized with all these different services in Mexico City. And here I have my different categories. And remember, I got that big home in Condesa with the big kitchen. And as I told you, I'm not a great cook. So here I can have a host named Raja, who's got 40 years experience cooking. And he can come to my home. He's got this $45 Mexican breakfast kit. Looks really cool. So I'm going to book it. And this is literally how easy it is. Now, the first thing that it does, it asks you, would you like the chef to come to the Airbnb you're staying in? So it knows the Airbnb I booked. I'm going to say yes. Now, it also knows when I'm traveling, so it presents the services on the dates I'm traveling. So I think I'm going to do one on the Saturday when I arrive. I'm going to do it at 8:30 a.m. And I'm going to book it. And that is literally how easy it is to get a chef on Airbnb. It is no more difficult than that. Now, when I'm done, you can see that the service shows up right in my itinerary. So it's really, really intuitive. All right, so now we're going to do a little bit of time traveling, okay? You're going to bear with me. So now I want you to imagine we're going to go forward 3 weeks, okay? So I got on a plane. I went to Mexico City. I arrive in Mexico City, and I get this notification. Welcome to Mexico City. And now look what happens. I have all the info that I need. My door code here, 0811. I have my check-in details. I can see experiences that are available during my trip. So you see this? So now it knows different experiences. I mean, remember this one, the luchador? So this is actually a professional wrestler. His name is Retro. That's him. Very friendly looking. And what do? You literally go in the ring with Retro. You learn the ropes. And at the end of the experience, you can go ringside with him and you watch a professional wrestling experience. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go in the ring. There's 2 spots left. So I'm going to book this. And again, that is how easy it is to book an experience. I hit done. Now I'm back on my itinerary. And here I am, and I see I have my breakfast. Then I've got my getting in the ring. And so I'm going to go through time one more time, okay? So now I imagine we did the experience, and it's now June 15th. My trip's ended. I'm back home, and I get this notification from Eva. Now, Eva was one of the guests on the experience, and look at this. I'm now in an Airbnb messaging thread. This is in our app. This is not iMessage. This is in our app. This is a message thread of all the guests that were on the experience. They can show their photos. They can show their videos. I can go to details. I can actually see the guests that were on the experience. This is really, really cool. I can message them. I can go to the gallery. I can go through the photos. I can download a photo. That's me in the mask right there. Really, really simple. I want to show you one more part of the app. I'm really, really excited about this. The all-new profile. You know, people are at the center of Airbnb. And this is a little-known fact, but we actually have 200 million verified identities. We really want to make sure that real people use Airbnb. So we designed this new identity card. See that little detail? I'm going to do that again. That was fun. Look at that. Boom. And I can tap it. And I'm literally, look, I'm moving the phone. That's really cool. I've got this new profile. All the trips we've ever taken, we custom generate travel stamps that look like passport stamps. And we've got a couple new features in the profile, including, look on the left here, past trips. So I'm going to tap into past trips, and I can see all the trips that I've taken on Airbnb. Now, why would I want this? Well, this can be really useful, because now I can share my itinerary with friends. So I can basically go here, and I can share with my friend Hiroki and get him to get in the ring. Good luck. And there's one more feature I want to show you in the all-new profile, and maybe I'm most excited about this, and this is connections. Because now I can show all the people I've traveled with on Airbnb, and also I have an index of all the people that I've met along the way, and I can keep in touch with everyone. It's kind of like a social network in the real world. It's really, really special, and we think this is the center of Airbnb. And the other thing I just want you to notice is this design. You know, when you look at most of your apps on your phone, the design's very, very flat. But we were going for something that was vibrant, colorful, dimensional, felt like a gateway to the real world. And hopefully you find it's really, really intuitive. So that is the all-new Airbnb app. All right. Now, actually, that is just the Airbnb app for guests. That's only half the app, because we didn't stop there. We also rebuilt the app for hosts. So we wanted to make it really easy for hosts to offer services and experiences. So we created the all-new Airbnb setup that makes it super simple to apply. Just tell us about your experience, upload your photos, and then you can create your itinerary. And that is how easy it is to apply to become a host. We've completely redesigned the Today tab, where you can see all about your reservations, and you can learn more about your guest. And so this is really useful. You can tap in and say, I'm an experienced host. I can see the 7 guests that are coming. I can learn more about them. I can prep for them. Now, we've rebuilt the calendar from the ground up. So now, when you select your dates, it's easy to set your availability and your price. For service and experiences, we have this new calendar where you can schedule down to the hour. And a common request we get is to connect with Google Calendar. So now, you can see your personal schedule and bookings all in one place. We've updated the listing tab. So there's one place to manage homes, experiences, and services. And that's the new app for host, and it makes it really easy to do everything, from submitting a listing to managing it. Thank you. Now, our all-new app is built on a completely new design system. You know, we have one of the best design teams in the world. And I wanted to show you just a few examples of the craft and the care that they put into the app. We start with our homepage. And we wanted our design to reflect the excitement of everything we offer in the real world. So we took our flat design language, and we gave it more dimensionality and vibrancy. We also created a new way to discover the world of Airbnb with carousels that are personalized to you. They showcase the best listings based on your profile, past bookings, and current trip. We designed this totally new shortcut, and it adapts depending upon where you are in your journey. So as you get closer to your trip, we'll recommend things to do while you're there. Now, we designed an all-new itinerary. And this itinerary shows all the information you need when you need it, like the door code when you arrive, and you can see what's happening every day of your trip. People have always been at the center of Airbnb. So we completely redesigned the profile to put people at the center. And then we thought, how do we represent our verified identity? So we created this beautiful identity card. It's dimensional, like a real object, and it reacts to movement. And we bring it all to life in a way that only Airbnb's design team can. This is the new Airbnb app. Pretty cool, right? You know, 17 years ago, we changed the way people travel. And with the launch of experiences and services, we're changing travel again. Now, you can Airbnb more than an Airbnb. Now, to pull this off, it turns out we had to basically rebuild the company from the ground up. What does that mean? We choose to do things not because they're easy, but because they're hard. Maybe in this case, we choose to do things not because they're easy, but because we thought they'd be easy. It turned out it was a lot of work. And we had to rebuild our technology from the ground up, starting with the technology stack. We had to rewrite our application. We had to rethink how we do marketing. We had to build out an entire new departments. We had to rethink how we recruit and work with our hosts to bring all of this together. It was a massive effort across the entire Airbnb team. And I just wanted to take a moment before I go to thank everyone at Airbnb, people in this room and around the world watching that made everything that you saw come together. So let's hear it for the Airbnb team. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you, guys. You know, when I came to Silicon Valley, the world was excited about tech. The promise of the internet was that we'd all be more connected. And these amazing tools were supposed to bring us closer and make us happier. And for a while, it really felt like they were. But somewhere along the way, something drifted. And we started spending more time looking at screens and less time in the real world. And instead of growing closer and feeling happier, people have drifted further apart and become more lonely. But despite all of this, I am still optimistic, because I've seen how technology can bring us together and truly connect us. You know, I've been asked this question. After 2 billion guests, what have you learned? And my answer is simple. People are fundamentally good, and we are 99% the same. And if this wasn't true, we'd have been out of business a long time ago. Travel reminds us of this truth, because it's when we're most open and curious about other people. It allows us to see and understand the world and each other. But Airbnb is not limited to travel. What we experienced with our guest that first weekend was about so much more. It was about real connection with real people in the real world. What we're building is much more than a travel app. It's a global community in the real world, where you can travel anywhere, live anywhere, and belong anywhere. This is what we're building, and to think it all started with an airbed. So thank you so much for coming today. I hope you enjoy, and see you soon. Thank you.